Good afternoon, everyone. This is Tara Kumari of myBIO. Thank you for joining us today. Today's webinar is, most of the information that's going to be covered is session promotion, but particularly using myBIO for promotion. And myBIO, if some of you are new to the convention, is kind of like an online event planner tool. And so everyone that registers for the convention can actually see this tool and, work with it, and it helps kind of engage the communication between attendees and speakers. But before we go into session promotion, I would like to cover a few items before. Today's agenda, this just gives you a brief overview of what we're going to discuss. We're going to go over invited confirmed speakers, program committee outreach, upcoming deadlines, and then go into session promotion. And then you'll notice there's Q&A at the very end. If you have questions at any time during this webinar, feel free to use the chat feature and ask questions, and we'll answer them as soon as you send them, or we'll save them till the end, depending on what we're discussing. So the first thing I would like to discuss, which, I received a ton of inquiries about who should I add to the Speaker Service Center. Am I supposed to wait till March, or when do I need to add the speakers? So what I wanted to discuss briefly is invited versus confirmed. So all of our speakers should have been invited, which we discussed during our last webinar on January 27th. And all of these invited speakers, whether they're confirmed or not, should be added to the Speaker Service Center. So the majority of you that attended our first webinar, you probably recall at the very end, we had a brief demo of how to use the Speaker Service Center. And so what you want to do is you want to add all of your speakers, because even though you may have submitted them on your proposal form initially, those speakers are currently not in the system. You actually have to go in and add each speaker. And so right now, if let's say you don't know if they're confirmed or not, you could just still leave them and add them to the system and list them as invited. And then once you receive confirmation, then you can change their status to invitation accepted. And again, if you don't remember if you were unable to attend the last webinar, all of this information is on the organizer guide on pages 9 and 10. So it actually goes into detail on what you need to do to add your speakers in. And you may have received an email also this week last week from me stating that you don't have any speakers currently listed. So we want to make sure that whether they're invited or confirmed, that we add them. But the absolute latest deadline to confirm our speakers is March 14th. So if you haven't, okay, so that's all we need to, and another item I wanted to say too, is if for some reason you lost your e-code, or you don't know the email or the link to the Speaker Service Center, please feel free to email me and I can send you that e-code again. And I also wanted to go over too, a lot of you had FDA speaker requests, and we still haven't received notification on the status of those speakers, but as soon as I receive confirmation from the FDA, I will email you as soon as possible so you can add those speakers into the Speaker Service Center as well. And the next thing I would like to discuss is the program committee. A lot of you may have received contact from the program committee, and I just want to let you know, if you haven't received contact from one of our program committee members, please email me and I will try to get you in touch with your designated program committee member. And what the program committee member helps you on is if you need, let's say one of your speakers ended up canceling, they can actually be a resource to give you an alternate speaker. And also, if you, let's say the feedback you initially received from BIO and you were kind of confused on what it exactly meant, the program committee member can actually go into detail on what that means and what the direction, or give you guidance on what direction you should go. And you could also use them if you need them on one of your planning calls and you would like them to chime in as well in case you're a little confused on what direction your session should go into. And also they could provide you logistical information. But again, if for some reason you can't get a hold of your program committee member, please email me and I could also answer any other inquiries. But I think you should definitely use the program committee as a good resource because they were the ones that evaluated your proposal initially, and so they could give you really great feedback on if you're confused on what direction you need to go into. Okay. And the next thing I want to discuss are there any upcoming deadlines? And the answer is yes, we have a few upcoming deadlines. Our first one is the late-breaking call for session. If you were unaware, we're actually doing a late-breaking call this year, which closes on March 5th. So if you're interested in submitting a proposal for our late-breaking call, we actually have more information on the BIO convention website. So if you go to convention.bio.org, you could see more details on what you need to submit. And you probably noticed this tab also when you enter the Speaker Service Center. There's a late breaking tab. So if you are interested in submitting a late breaking proposal, I would strongly encourage it. The only two tracks that will not be offered during our late breaking call is the food and agricultural track and the international case studies. But if you're interested in submitting a proposal in any of the other tracks, I would strongly encourage you to do it. But I don't want you to submit something that it needs to be new. I don't want you to resubmit something that maybe one of your proposals got rejected and you want to resubmit it again. It should be new information that wasn't fully available by our initial call. So again, if you are interested, you have until Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern to submit a proposal. And the next thing I want to go over to is you need to, like I just said earlier, confirm all your speakers by March 14th. And if you have issues meeting that deadline, please email me and let me know. But again, this is our deadline because, like I said in our first webinar, once you consider them or designate them as invitation accepted, they receive an email and they're considered registered for the convention. So if they're still listed in the system as invited or canceled or whatever you listed them as, they aren't considered registered for the convention. So when they come to Boston, they won't be let in because we don't have a record for them. And also, like, since we are going through myBIO today, you'll notice you should receive, for all of our invitation accepted speakers, you'll receive a confirmation email by the end of next week. And in this email will actually be a login instructions for using myBIO. So this is where you would obtain your login instructions for myBIO. Again, please make sure you confirm all your speakers by March 14th. And then our final deadline is the housing deadline, which is May 16th. I would strongly encourage you to, if you haven't booked your hotel yet, to book it as soon as possible. The hotels are close to selling out that are close to the convention center. So, I would also strongly encourage you to remind your speakers of this deadline as well. And you'll notice there's a link to the Book Housing website. So that's where you can go, and you can share this link also with your other speakers who need to book their housing. But now that I've discussed the upcoming deadlines, I'm going to actually pass it to Erin Lee, and she's our Director of Marketing, and she's going to go into detail about session promotion and how we can make sure all of your seats are filled in your session. Great. Thank you, Sarah. Was there a question on the line?
Yes, there is. I would like to know, regarding the program committee members.
Yes.
If it's not logistically unfeasible, it would be useful if they actually sent a short email to each of the people that have sessions that they are handling, so that there's a direct communication rather than all of us going at the last minute to you or to Sarah and asking who our member is.
Sir, they should have reached out to you. So if you didn't receive communication from our program committee member, please email me and let me know, and then I will put you in touch with that person, because they were supposed to reach out to you. That's why I wanted to remind everyone, if they, for some reason, you didn't receive an email or phone call from a program committee member, to let me know, because they should have, they're the ones responsible of making the initial outreach to you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I will jump into what I can help you do in regard to getting more exposure for your sessions. First and foremost, we have kicked off the What's Your Bio campaign. It's our theme this year in 2012. It's very personal, and it speaks directly to the very wide industry that we cover at the BIO International Convention. So we just wanted to sort of open the idea as far as video. So we have our communications team here, and both Sarah and Sarah are interested in interviewing you and getting your perspective on why you feel your sessions are compelling, why you feel the speakers have some really great information to share. And what we want to do is get some video recorded, a minute and a half tops. So we're interested in doing that in the next month or two. So we wanted you to reach out to us. We might reach out to you individually, but we just wanted to kind of position the idea here. We are fully executing our marketing campaign, both via email, print, and social media, and obviously on our website. So you get a lot of great visibility. It would be something that you could share on your social media platforms, and it could also be featured in your myBIO profile. So I just wanted to mention that quickly because it's one of the new initiatives that we're doing this year to make our event more personal and resonate more with our attendees. So here on the slide, basically we will give you full directions on how to be a part of the video and simple instructions on how to record them, as well as we can actually ship you a camera if you don't have one embedded in your computer or don't have one available to you. All right, so I'll just move on. So speaking of session promotion ideas, we know that you are constantly talking with colleagues in your respective jobs, whether you work at a PR agency or directly with companies associated with the biotech industry. So obviously word of mouth is the obvious first resource about really creating a buzz around your session. We do encourage that you are emailing and doing outreach to your contacts. I'm going to go into detail about how you can do that using LinkedIn. LinkedIn is obviously one of the key industry portals, if you will, to really reach out to the biotech industry. So I'll be going through some examples of how you can easily and with no cost use LinkedIn to kind of promote awareness about your session. I'll be walking through some other social media platforms, Facebook, but we'll be focusing today on LinkedIn and Twitter. If you haven't had a chance to visit our Twitter account, it's at BIO Convention. And if you go into Twitter at any time, you can just search our hashtag, BIO2012. And we have a feed of our Twitter account from the login page of myBIO that you'll be seeing shortly. So it's really easily accessible, and we're having a lot of great conversations each day. So we really encourage you to get active there. And then as far as blogging, if you have your own personal blogs, obviously blogs, SEO, and web crawlers love blogs. It will be one of the first things if people are searching a keyword around tech transfer or food and ag. It will be, blogs are a great resource to ensure that people doing any kind of Google search will find you. And lastly, we'll be talking about myBIO and how it's a resource for the convention community. And then did you want to make a mention of the...
Oh, and there's full details of this, of all of our session promotion ideas, again, in the organizer guide on page 11.
All right, so I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with myBIO, but it's the online community, as Sarah said, for the entire audience around the BIO International Convention. It's a free tool that's available and very highly marketed to all of our attendees. And it's a tool that's used in marketing where we cast a wide net, via email to over 100,000 people. So links to sessions, to speakers are going to be used in a variety of ways in social media and via a lot of our digital marketing strategy. So it's basically the hub of information for the convention. So I just wanted to give you a brief overview of what attendees and you, the session organizers and speakers, can accomplish using, what you can accomplish by using myBIO. So essentially, at the end of the day, we really want attendees to come to BIO in Boston prepared and with a plan. And we really want them to have specific sessions picked out, and basically by you giving as much information as possible and by you casting a wide net to your audiences and your colleagues and your friends, you are the ultimate influencers when it comes to your sessions. So you'll really help make sure that all those seats are filled when you arrive in Boston. So attendees will be, as specific for sessions, they will be looking for you by keyword and tag, and then obviously the track title. Attendees this year, one of the new features of myBIO is that the speaker list is completely open to anybody. So anybody that's looking to think about attending, or if it's a media person who wants more information, all speaker information and session details are completely open to the general public. So I'll be going into more detail on that. I hope that you all like the feature of kind of having an awareness of how you're faring as far as popularity or as far as folks adding you to their event plan. I mean, it's a good indication of how many people have, plans to attend your session. And the last one that I'm actually not going to be able to, well, there's two things that I want to show you. I will be able to show you the messaging system, and I'll go into specifics. This is really a great asset that's, again, free for speakers and attendees. It is completely separate from our partnering system. I always have to kind of make a note of that because it's one system that's very closely affiliated with our event. But I do want to make it clear that even if you don't have a full registration and you're not going through our partnering system, you can use myBIO as a free tool for you. And so I'll be going into some details about how you can use the messaging system within there. So real quick, there's a lot that goes on at BIO. We know that we're competing with a lot of other events, and we're bringing all the industry experts to Boston in June. So first and foremost, there are obviously 125 breakout sessions, and again, you'll be able to find them by track and keyword. There's a number of special programs that go on throughout the 4 days, but most of them are on Monday. We are largely networking events, so it gives you the overview of those, co-located events, and things that are going on in the BIO exhibition. So outside of when you're speaking, we encourage you to use these and kind of browse and see what's going on within the event. Again, the calendar is separate from the one-on-one system, like I mentioned. I'm really excited about all the speakers being featured and open to the general public. So that's just an overview of that. And then as far as attendees go, this is something, that's why I had to distinguish attendees versus speakers, because we really encourage you to log in once the system is open. And I should make a mention of that you actually are the first folks outside of the walls of BIO that are getting a preview of the myBIO system. It'll be fully live and available online from our website, and we'll be messaging all speakers and attendees next week and engaging them into the system. But you can only see attendees if you have an active profile and you've actually logged into the system. So it really protects the privacy of attendees and really is a value add for attendees coming to your sessions. And lastly, our event has a number of companies anchoring all the activity going on. So we feature 4,000 companies, whether they're exhibitors, sponsors, partnering companies, members, and so on. So just want to give you kind of a brief breakdown. And now I will just jump right into the system and then go into how you can how you can, here we go, how you can make sure that both your individual profile and both your session profile are completed to the best of your ability so that you get full visibility here. So this is just the general login page. I just wanted to kind of show you. And again, this will be available in a number of places throughout our convention site, and you'll get a personal invitation next week. But I just wanted to show you kind of from the beginning what the experience is like. You'll see that it's organized by attendees, sessions and events, where your event will be featured speakers, where all your headshots will be and your great bios and links to your sessions. And then we have our full list of companies. I'll go into conversations, and then after you log in, I'll show you where your My Event Planner is. And I'll just scroll down a little. So this is our Twitter feed going on. That's just a feed right into our page. And then you can kind of get an indication of some new companies that are coming into the system from there. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. I am a moderator of the system, so my view is a little bit different. But I just wanted to give you guys as much of a sneak preview as possible. All right, am I logged in? Yes, I am. All right, so I'm going to start by going to sessions and events and kind of showing you what the new interface looks like. We did make some improvements over last year, but obviously it's up to you to start playing around and using it to your advantage. We really tried to tighten up some of our filters and how it's just giving attendees another way to find your session. So for instance, if I clicked on the box Tech Transfer on the left-hand side, it's going to give me all events that have been tagged with the word Tech Transfer. So it starts with a session in the biotech patenting area, and then goes on to Translational Research Forum, which is actually a special program, and then so on through other tracks of global innovations and markets. But I'm going to scroll down to one that actually has a speaker confirmed. Actually, I'll walk you through some of the icons. So this icon is a calendar icon. This shows you who has RSVP for the event. So if I minimize this, so from here, if I was looking at it normally, I can just go ahead and add this to my event plan, and it shows me instantly that I've added it, and I can take it off if I like. So now I should be added to that. Let me F5 that. So bear with me, it might be a little bit delayed because we're on the webinar. So there I am. I just added the session. So it's pretty, hopefully, intuitive and user-friendly. We're going to scroll down. So right here, where we saw attendees, if you just hover over things, it gives you a good indication. So there's no attendees there. But what you don't see here, and what I'm going to show you, is when there are speakers listed. So this session in the biotech patenting track has Gerald McDougall listed. So we're going to click inside of a session, and it kind of shows you where you are. So you're looking at a session within the international case studies. It's the academic medical center session. Obviously, it's on Tuesday. So here's the track that it belongs to, and all the tags that were done in A to Z. So these are really going to help attendees navigate and kind of have an awareness of your session, and they're very powerful. So we'll be using these tags to help drive awareness to the different industry segments that our events serve. So right now, George hasn't had the opportunity to upload a picture in A to Z. Later on in the presentation, I'll be giving you very specific information so you don't have any questions about where your information comes from. So when you go to the public site, you'll be clear on how to make any edits where you need to. So here we have the session ID, which is helpful with attendees trying to find you and always knowing what your session ID is. And the brief marketing blurb that we'll be using in our digital brochure to help folks kind of have a gist, a real kind of nice spin on your session. And then obviously the learning objectives. One thing I did want to mention right here at the bottom is where there will be the opportunity for attendees to comment. We are, like I said, you're the first folks outside the bio office that are seeing the system, and this is one of the things we're working through before we officially launch it. It's one of the last bugs that we're working through. So they'll be able to comment here, and you'll be able to have a conversation right within the page of your session. So this is a session view. I have logged in as Aaron, obviously. Registrants aren't all in here yet, but I do want to talk through the importance of tags from an individual basis. So this is my profile. It's my name, and my title and my company came over with my registration information. So I registered through our CSI system. I gave a bio of myself, which you guys would do in A to Z. And then these tags on the right side, which I will definitely give clarity to a little bit later, but these are coming actually from your registration in CSI. So it's an extra step that we encourage you to do because it'll help match you with different events going on bio. And then as you'll see here, you have my Facebook, my LinkedIn, my Twitter, and then the convention website because that's something that I work on. So here is a feed of what I've been tweeting about. So as a speaker, or as you're talking with your speakers, you know, they're industry experts and hopefully they have a voice out there, and so we just recommend that you complete this as much as possible. So from the My Event Planner tab, you have a variety of things you can do. So I'll be giving you the clear instructions later, but while we're here, I'll go ahead and click on it. So Sarah mentioned earlier that you can send messages to attendees. So let's start, and this is where you would do it. So it's to kind of bring it to specifics. I'm going to go ahead and search biotech associations. Are you laughing because I messaged you? Okay. So I searched people that have a tag biotech association. So this is great. This instantly makes me have things in common with people. So I look at Angela Krebs, and the things that we have in common, which are these little rings, are that we both belong to a biotech association. So instantly, I'm like, wow, Angela, I need to talk to you. I want to invite you to my session. So I just click on the mail icon, and I quickly write in a subject, and come to my session. It's going to be really great, and so on. So that's just an example. I'm not going to send that to Angela. But I do have an example of a message I sent to Sarah yesterday about her fake session. So there it is. So from your event planner, you can manage your messages. So we encourage you to do that. You can manage your schedule. So earlier, you all saw me add the models and frameworks to foster this international case studies session. So far, I've added 2 sessions that I plan to attend, so this is great. So this is also a good way to see how attendees are printing out their schedules and coming to your sessions. Companies, which is called exhibitors, I haven't added one yet. I can show you how to do that really easily. So I'm going to click on companies, and let's find one of our, this guy has a logo. We're working with our exhibitors to make sure that they have robust profiles. So ABC Actini LLC is an exhibitor. They're in booth 0784, and this hyperlinks to our floor plan. But basically, is it there? Should be able to add him to my event plan. Another bug we are going to figure out. Let's see if I click here. Or exhibitor list. That's strange. Anyway, so exhibitors and any kind of companies that you want to add to your event plan are visible from here. What? Can you see it? See it? Oh, there it is. I apologize, I'm just working with some of it. So let's go ahead and look at Abbott, one of our sponsors. Okay, so it's not viewed now. Okay, well I'm going to go ahead and add this company from here, Abbott, to my event plan. So it tells me that it's been added. So I'll go back to my exhibitors under my event planner and a little for the system. There we go. Yeah. Click on my exhibitors. And there we go. There's Abbott. So that's great. My library is something that we're rolling out in the next month. It will be collateral that's available from companies. And so on. So I do want to reiterate, even though it's going to ask you to edit your profile, from here, don't edit any information from here. We want you to go ahead and do all of that through A to Z.
Speaker Service Center.
Yes, through the Speaker Service Center or from the registration system. So speaking of speakers, you will see the great visibility you get in our navigation. And here we have actual live speakers who have populated information. We like this. We like seeing the personality behind all the speakers. So I'm hovering right now over Karen Midton. She is just around the corner in Rockville, Maryland, and we're going to click on the FDA Town Hall. So I clicked on the session, I see the description, I see Karen, and it's just great visibility for your session. So from there, I do want to make mention, I think one of the gentlemen I used in the PowerPoint slides that I'll show you shortly is tagged to a company, and I want to, let's see, maybe there's that many more speakers than me. All right, well, I'll come back to this. All right, before I transition back to the PowerPoint, did anyone have any questions? We're just in a conference room that's a little far away from the computer while realizing their eyes don't work as good as they'd like. Okay, so we're almost back to the slide. Okay, so I gave you a brief overview of the system and kind of walked through it a little quickly, but this is just a reference tool for you to use after you've completed your session profiles, added speakers, and kind of really thought through. But I just wanted to reiterate with the tags that are attached to your session and how important they are. These tags overlap with information that attendees are telling us about them during the registration process. So the better you are at tagging your session that's relevant, make sure that they are only relevant tags, the better opportunity that folks will be able to find you.
And I just want to reiterate that when you submitted your proposal, you had to select keywords that identified your topic. Those actually carried through to the Speaker Service Center that you're now working in. So any updates that you want to make, and we encourage you to look through those again, make sure they're still relevant, and select all the keywords, because those are actually what become the tags that Erin is referring to. So please, 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 if you do one thing, beyond adding your speakers, make sure that your keywords are updated and relevant to your session, because it will really give you great exposure.
Right. So I am going to jump back to the myBIO and show you how tags made some recommendations for me. So we looked at my profile earlier, and I have Biotech Association, Drug Discovery, and Research and Development. So we're going to look at the Sessions and Events tab. And we're going to click on My Recommendations. And this is something that's featured in the Sessions and Events section and Companies. So once I click on this, it's going to say, Aaron, we recommend that you attend the Biotech Primer. And I'd say, why? Because you tagged yourself with Biotech Association and Drug Discovery and Research and Development. So it's a great recommendation. So we are aware that we offer a lot to attendees at the convention. So this really helps kind of drill down into the specific target areas that they're interested in. So here we have a couple tracks based on probably countries. There it is. So actually Biotech Association. So I just wanted to mention that again about how you edit your tags. Go back into the speaker service. Yeah. All right. So, all right. So here is a good example of a speaker profile that's already live in the system. So we can't stress enough that we encourage you to do this as soon as possible. So I wanted to talk through where the fields come from. So the long bio of Mr. Parrish Galler is managed in A to Z. He gave a great comprehensive update of the expert that he is. So you want to make sure that you update that, the bio and the picture in A to Z, and that'll make for the most seamless process. And down here is where his session and event is attached to his profile. The tags to the right-hand side are where you are updating your personal. This is where Parrish would log into our registration system and answer a series of, I think, 10 questions that become these tags. And these are, as a person, how folks would find your session. So there's a little bit of overlap there. So you have to think of the data that's available in myBIO from a management perspective. You're managing it as an individual and as a session. So we kind of walked through the My Event Planner. And I think one of the key things that I think that you guys will benefit most from in this section is the My Event Planner. So it's pretty easy once you get there. It's a straightforward one, very simple messaging format. It's not really complicated, so it should be pretty easy to use. All right, so let's jump into our social media networks, the ones that we're really active in. We'll start with a little brief overview of how to post a discussion in Facebook. We'll go into detail in LinkedIn, and then we'll talk a little bit about Twitter. So here's a screenshot of our homepage once you're logged in to our Facebook group. It's the BIO International Convention Facebook group. It should be real easy to find once you go onto Facebook. We have some media partners who are very active in here. We have a lot of speakers and industry experts who are having conversations here. So we encourage you to do so as well. So it should be pretty straightforward that you can write something, you can post a link to your session when you're posing a question. You can do polls in Facebook now. It's pretty easy. So we encourage you to do that. And we like that it's free. All right, so we're going to jump in. The second slide is LinkedIn. And once you have a profile on LinkedIn, I would assume many of you do and many of your speakers do. Basically, that's your kind of industry hub, and that's where you have all your contact information and people that are active. So what you want to do is the structure of LinkedIn has really gotten a lot more streamlined recently. So you want to find the Contacts tab, and then within it, under number 1, I've showed you, these are the ones that exist for me. I'm a marketing person, but I'm in the biotechnology area. So you can basically select that that way, and then you'll get a list of your 57 contacts who have a biotechnology tag. And then you can literally go down the list and choose them, like I have in number 2, and select them. And then those 3 people that I've added can get a personal message from me. And yeah, so creating a personal message is going to resonate a lot more than something blanket. So if you know anything specific about them, you can go ahead and do it. So all I've done here is kind of given a brief overview of where I'll be speaking, when it is, and what I'm talking about, and then I linked them for further information to my bio. So under groups, groups are really powerful in LinkedIn. They've, again, come a long way as well. Most of them are open, which means that you can have an open discussion without anybody necessarily really monitoring it. So here, I showed you what my groups look like. I have 25 of them or so, and here I've given priority to the myBIO community. This is our very, very active community. It's growing every day, and we're over 19,000 members right now. So I encourage you to go there, play around with the discussions that are happening here, and you can get updates based on different sectors within that group. But what I've done is, so you find your group or subgroup. So here I've chosen the myBIO community. And then within the myBIO community, all these biotechnology connections, I'm going to go ahead and start a discussion. And so that's where this field is, that's right next to my headshot, is where I start a discussion that's relevant to your session. So something thought-provoking, whatever is as cutting edge as possible. You really want to think, like, what would elicit a response? Or start the dialogue now about the hot topic that you're talking about. So you want to go ahead and start the discussion, and it's real easy to do, or you can start a poll. And then in the next feed, I just gave you a little bit more closer shot that once you type in your discussion title and your description, that's actually going to be shared to the LinkedIn wall. And folks get updates to conversations happening within the groups. They monitor that. They're not necessarily getting those every day. They'll get them, on a weekly basis or whatever. But we encourage you to go ahead and share that from your Twitter feed. So that's going to prompt you once you check that the little birdie box there. It's going to prompt you to log into your Twitter account. And then as you're tweeting about anything having to do with your participation at the convention, all we ask is that you just use the BIO 2012 hashtag, and we'll do the rest. And we'll make sure that we're retweeting it, we're talking about what you're talking about. We have a full team here that's really engaged in social media, and you'd be amazed of how impactful it can be and how many people you can reach instantly. So LinkedIn's made it really easy here. You can attach a link, so we encourage you to use your myBIO profile right there, whether it's the speaker profile or your actual session profile. So this is just a screenshot of our Twitter feed that literally happened yesterday evening. So it just shows you how it's a nice blend of industry publications, companies, people, and us giving information about who's talking on the BIO Convention Twitter feed. So we encourage you to get active. All right, I think that's mostly what I wanted to cover. Did you all have any questions? You can enter your question in the chat area, and we are here to answer anything that we can help you with.
Or if there are no questions, obviously feel free to email any one of us, Erin, Sarah, or Sarah at any time, and we're happy to answer your questions offline.
So I'll just give one brief marketing update so you guys are aware. We are, like I said, in full-fledged marketing mode, and we've sent out a couple of direct mail pieces. Our next piece will introduce the program in a great way, and that'll be a print piece that we're mailing to a very large international and domestic audience. And then I'm sure Sarah and Sarah will make sure that they follow up and send it to you, but we'll have a digital brochure available that'll be really great engagement tool for session information. So that's coming out soon. So just look out for those.
And again, I just want to remind everyone to make sure, like Erin said earlier, everything that's visible on myBIO, whether it's a photo or a biography, all of that information is the information that you provide in the Speaker Service Center. So if you, for some reason, look at your session on myBIO and you just see the session description and title, that means that you haven't added your speakers. So you want to make sure you add all of your speakers so people look at your session and they say, wow, look at all these speakers and their background, and hopefully they'll attend your session more than someone that may not have added all of their information in.
And we'll be featuring, I didn't mention this, within the program area of the convention.bio.org, we'll be featuring all speakers in a random way that have headshots. So it's definitely good, a good reason to get those headshots uploaded in the Speaker Service Center.
Thank you all for joining us today. And just a reminder, our next webinar is on May 3rd. So we look forward to hearing from you then. Bye.
Bye-bye.